So I'm excited to finally, I love recognition, it's awesome, it's very special, but also I'm excited for what we've worked on to close it out with these two last topics. And we're going to start with this. Profits. Financial gain, especially the difference between the amount earned and the amount spent in buying, operating, or producing something. Pretext to profits. Verb. Obtain a financial advantage or benefit, especially from an investment. What are the main words that we're looking at in this statement? I got an amazing wife, and we have our family time every morning before our children go to school. I'm not ashamed to say I'm a Christian. I'm not ashamed at all. We spend our mornings reading. And as we were studying our scriptures in the morning, she stopped on this, and it hit me squarely. In the scripture starts talking what we were reading about profit. And she stopped, and my wife has done a tremendous job teaching our children about profit. And the first thing that one of our daughters spoke about was not what she had to gain, but what she had to give up to have gain. I believe one of them, both of them, Kai and Sam, they're 9-11. They got into the slime craze. Any of you guys kids get into the slime craze?
Oh, man.
Isn't it so crazy? Like, I can't stand the slime craze, but and Sarah says yes every time. It's like, don't you get this? Like, I hate this. And so she started deducting what it would cost to make the slime and taught our children about expenses and investment and what they had to give in order to profit. And they went out there and actually started selling them to the neighborhood kids. We had to bring one of our daughters back and said, look, you can't go sell slime for $10. You're ripping people off. But in all seriousness, as we spoke in this morning, the first thing that came out of her little mouth was, well, you first have to put something in order to get something out. Something has to give, something has to be invested, something has to be sacrificed in order to profit. So, what areas is my message for you for the entire weekend? I will tell you as your friend, not as my position in this company, this has been the hardest thing. This Q thing, this has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Nothing has come close. It is a scale of what's had to be invested, not just what you're thinking monetarily, what's had to be invested with time from our family, what's had to be invested emotionally, like, unbelievable. This has been the biggest investment of our family's lives. There's not even anything now. If someone would have pulled me aside in June of 2017 when I met Mark for the very first time, and they said to me, and they looked my wife and I in the eye, and they said, here's what the price that you're going to have to pay personally in your family to get what you're seeing now, and we're not even filling up this room yet. Do you know what I would have said? Nope. No way. Because I was accustomed to living a life in the field, where really it was a couple days on the road, here and there, some financial investment from flights, team events, recognition, do what we needed to do, put on some of these events like ourselves, but nothing involved in the day-to-day grind. I remember when Kevin Hell sat me down because he knew that my ignorance and arrogance was shining through. When I didn't understand what was so hard about putting something in a bottle, putting a label on it, putting it in a box, and shipping it.
Are you all seeing this?
I just didn't get it, actually. And quite honestly, I still don't.
Wait, what?
And it just pains me.
You guys better be sharing this video.
6-8 week lead time. What are you talking about? This isn't rocket science. Oh yes, it is, Jake. There's 6, 7, 8 companies that converge at the same time. Stuff's over there getting manufactured by that company. This is being shipped over there for labels. That container's coming from there. This, that, move this, and everything has to converge. If one thing's late to that manufacturer, you lose your place in line, you go to the back, so now you're 4 weeks behind. It was crazy. The emotional toll. You couldn't pay your way if you even had gazillions of dollars out to even get ahead and get it even on time. It wasn't even a money issue. The amount of time I would see things from a corporate perspective, and oh, let me tell you one of them. I thought when I was in the field, I thought I was making people like Mark so much money. I'd walk in these conventions and sit in the front row and my name tag would be on there. I would just walk around counting my money, having had this trophy wife, like dang. And I was claiming mine because I knew on the back end he was getting his. Not true. Whatever you think that you're making the company, why don't you divide it down to a 16th of what you think? The biggest overhead in our company is you. Our commission run. It's crazy the amount of money that goes out in commissions. We could spend that money on media, mass mailing, ClickFunnels, all these different things. And we elected to pay the money to you. So some of you say, well, take the money down, right? Take the price down. Well, then take your commission down. Because I'll tell you this, there's no more getting from my family or Mark because there's nothing to get yet. There's nothing to get. And I start seeing what executive teams and even employees, did you know that the employees at Q, there are executives, some who spoke on this stage, have had to invest and take a risk that this hits just like some of you. There are executives in our company who are severely underpaid with the hope that they're made due and paid in full if this thing becomes magical. Is that not crazy? You should know it because that's 100% truth. Everyone pays a toll, and everyone has to invest, and everyone has to lose something. But to close this out, what are we talking about here? Something that's been near and dear to my heart for many years is segregating and separating out the areas that every single, and I'm going to tell you, to someone that said, man, I hope you go, are you speaking? I said, I might say something at the end. They said, I hope you go on like a soapbox rant like you did at Bronze Academy. I said, don't worry, it comes out naturally. And we'll put Mark at the end to make it all better. We'll put Mr. Neosporin over the crowd after we're done.
Mr. Reno.
In fact, there's a new product. You guys know we took away our silver gel. We actually have a new hemp gel that's coming. We're excited. It has silver in it. Kills boo-boo, so you can put a Hello Kitty Band-Aid after I'm done speaking on it. So cute. Faith, family, fitness, friends, and finance. And you know what? There's not one person in here that will not get something from this unless you are so closed off and eyes closed and ears shut off because it's the end of the weekend. And some of it's even going to be personal because the first one is faith. Remember the words, spend, buying, operating, producing, and investment. Faith and fear cannot coexist. It's impossible. It's impossible. And if your faith is out of line, you'll really start learning as you go through this. You are probably completely kind of not knowing what's happening, how it's happening, where it's coming from. And most of the time, you might not, 100% of the time, zero accountability. My wife keeps me accountable to a certain degree. My faith keeps me 100% accountable to everything, because I know one day I gotta be accountable. And I get to watch my life taped in front of him. And there's no pausing, there's no rewinding. He's not gonna care. Hey, did you see how cool I was on that stage? He don't care. And you start looking at this, your faith is proven by your sacrifice. Sacrifice is kind of like one of those laws like gravity. You jump off this building outside, you're going to fall to the ground. The more you sacrifice, it's inevitable. The more you do, I get it. And I love Jen Johnson's talk. I think it's amazing. And we're going to get the family in a second. It hit me at my core. But if you think that there's not going to be a stress or a toll on your family for you to get up here and get any of those things, you're smoking crazy things. You're as crazy as the Hilton. You're nuts. You're crazy. You think you're going to skate through this thing unscathed? You're going to have to give up something. Those children at home, they're going to have to know that they're giving up something to get something better. They're going to have to invest in. So at the time when you get all of the blessings that your faith gave you, you're going to have to minus out everything that you put in to take back out. It's the way that this thing works. There's no way around it. When your faith is not in line, insecurities. You really can't learn what's really going on. Insecurities sneak in and just tend to wreck everything that you're trying to do. And I love you guys, like, I can't sell anything. Your insecurities have sold so many of you the worst bag of goods ever. And when your faith isn't in line, your insecurities, I've noticed, are out of line. There's really only one way to conquer your insecurities. It's through faith, knowing that you are good enough, and you are noticed. And it's progression, not perfection. And if you can't understand that you're going to have to get away and invest something to heal that crap that you keep buying in your mind, your faith is never truly going to grow. Judging. People who have little to no faith and aren't exercising. Look, I don't care what faith you belong to, but belong to something. Please. I beg you, I actually pray for you. The leaders know, Sundays, don't even talk to me or my family. It is our religious day. In our religion, we call it our Sabbath. It's the Sunday. We go to church and we worship. And we go there. People are like, oh my gosh, like he's talking about things that our society out there, man, CNN would hate this guy.
It's fine by me.
I actually don't care. Because Mr. Neosporin is coming on after me. See, I know I have a lot bigger mission than the money. And I know I have a lot bigger mission than our product. I know if I can rein myself in and grow personally every single day and push myself harder than I've ever pushed, I will convert more people to what this slide does than anything that I can do in my entire life. See, judging is crazy. And when you start judging, it's not very long before you are at rock bottom. See, many people, we want to judge others by their actions, but oh, don't you dare judge me by my actions. Why don't you judge me by my intentions? Yes. Not fair. What do you need to give up, buy, manufacture, invest to increase your faith? How about your family? Again, spent buying, operating.
You got some precious relationships in your immediate and extended family. They are not your personal punching bag. Some of you actually need to kind of give up the stuff that happened yesterday, years ago, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Did it really matter who's right and wrong? One of my mentors said being right is the booby prize in life. Why don't you go be the bigger person? Hey, I'm sorry. I may have come across the wrong way, Mom, Dad. It pains me that there are leaders in here that think that you can have family division. After faith, the greatest unit in our culture, the family. You can have division in your family. I don't care if they were wrong. No one does. You can't have division and have that inside you and be so successful. It will eat you. You will start to rot inside. I get it. I get it. It took me over almost 2 decades to finally learn how to even start to forgive a family member. And I'm still not over it. But you know what? At least I'm trying. And everything because I'm trying, all areas of my life have gotten better. Do you know what I had to give up and give away? My pride. I had to invest all that pride and give it away of who was right. And I know even the law will tell you that I'm right in that situation. And he was wrong. A child should never be treated like that. But guess what? I had to give it in and say, you know what? I'm giving it to you, bro. Big brother, here it goes. I will invest. I will go all in on this. I will be naked and it's okay. I don't know what happened and what you're going through back then. And it started. And little by little talks with him over time, the last 2 or 3 years, it's gotten better and started to heal and better. And you know who's benefited? Not just me, but my children have benefited. See, you have to be the bigger person. You got to start having personal relationships with your children and grandkids. This is the greatest environment. You know what warms my heart is seeing all these kids. I love it because this is the environment that my children will be at. My children will be in attendance in Salt Lake City to hear my closing speech because they're going to be the highlight of what I learned from my kids. I want your children to see you growing and changing and making mistakes and understanding you're still a great person. I want your children to see you struggle. That's what relationships are about. That's how you get great. Spouse and partner, we talked about this. Happy wife, happy life. That is not true. Women, there's a lot of women in here. Top producers. It's happy spouse, happy house. You like that? Did your wife sing by you? You ain't getting anything out of this. No, but let's be real. Women, is your husband at home? Are you putting value? Because I'll say it. You're gonna tell them how difficult, and trust me, Sarah left me with the kids one time for an hour. It was the darkest hour of my entire life. You know how rough it is. And they may not have the same vision 2020 that you have of what you just saw and felt, and you can never repeat it. It's almost impossible to go home and regurgitate what you just saw and felt all the weekends. But here's what you can do. You can go make those people that paid a price for you to come here feel like a champion. You can send them a text right now and say, you know what? I know it hasn't been easy. Now most men, it's pizza and ice cream. It's easy when you're gone. My kids love it. They say, hey, are you going on a trip or mom's going on a trip? I'm going, oh, I love when mom goes because she buys stuff. But no, reality, it's stressful. Is it your parents? Have your parents stepped in to allow you to be here? Do those kids at home? Did you miss a game today? Did you miss taking them to a practice? Do they know that you're thinking of them? See, this is the investment. You can't think about yourself all the time. That person that's gone a week or two without highlighting something that your spouse has done great, you're going to have to get over yourself. And you're going to have to keep doing it even when they don't respond for months at a time. You're going to have to give it up to go up. You're going to actually have to date your spouse. And you're going to have to shut off your phone. Because why? This business is so freaking hard. It is so difficult. No business is easy. No business is easy. And so for that time that you have with them to refuel that tank, to keep that relationship intact so you can go out there and run hard again because that investment's big, you better invest that time and be 100% present. And you got to remind yourself somehow, some way, that unity, and what I love about this in our household, look, I'm a guy. I love it. She's gonna get embarrassed. I love kissing my wife in front of my kids. I don't care. I don't care if they feel uncomfortable. I do it every day. And I don't care if they catch me grabbing her butt. I do it every day. I hug my wife. I try to hug my wife every day. Don't I, babe? Every single day. She's my queen. I never want to lose her. Ever. With a divorce rate of over 50% in our country, I want my daughters, when they start dating, to say, you can't even measure up to my dad. That's right. And when my son hits that age, and most men have the biggest urge of procreation, and he starts looking at those girls, and he was looking at them and say, hey, you're not my thing. My mom taught me to date class, not trash. How you treat your spouse, grandparents, how you're treating your spouse still, they're watching. What you think is cool, they think is awesome. They're watching. Fitness. I love this. What do you got to give up to finally break the chains? What habits? What addictions? What things have to invest so you can profit from a body that's sitting there waiting to perform, but you won't allow it to? Let me tell you something. You're going to need energy to do this at a level that you don't even know you even have possible yet. If you think you're going to be able to sit at home and build your business over Zoom, you're crazy. You're going to have to invest. You're going to have to travel. You're going to have to come to these events. You're going to have to do meeting upon meeting, and when you're done, some more meetings. I remember just doing all these meetings and I was so tired. Came home, sat on the couch. My kids, I was just like exhausted. I get it. Sometimes you're zapped and it happens. And a three-way call was scheduled and I jumped up there, found the energy to do a three-way call, but I didn't have the energy to mess around with my kids. Is your family getting sloppy seconds? Or when it comes time, and most of you have jobs, and you're going places that you don't like, that you're not respected, that you're not recognized. And that's a tough environment if you have a job for some of you and you're like, oh my gosh, like, he doesn't know what it's like. Actually, I don't. This is the first time I ever had a job. Mark's my boss. I try to get him to fire me all the time. He won't do it. I don't know what it's like.
I don't know what it's like having to spend hours on the road away from your family, then go to your job, an hour home, and then go out and try to make Q work. I was in college, so when I started making lots of money, I just thought to myself, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off fast. The faster I can rip this off and make more money, the least amount of time to go to college, so I'm just going to do everything that guy says and not second guess anything. It's like, man, like, remember when you're in football and you're hazing your friends and you put duct tape all over their legs? And you can like pull the duct tape off really slow and pull out all your leg hair. You can just say, hey, go, rip it off. That's a challenge for you. And I get it, and I empathize with you. But what do you need to invest so when it comes time for you to ring the bell and start doing your meetings at night after you just did what you needed to do to put food on your table, and now it's time for your business between 6 and 12 p.m., where are you going to find that energy from? Now I didn't even go even further. We talked about food and food addiction. Food's tough for me too. I want to go one step further than that. Because there has to be something controversial in every one of these.
Sorry, guys.
Smoking and drinking. Smoking tobacco and drinking alcohol. I get it. Social drinking, addiction, needing it. I'm going to tell you a secret. You're going to have to learn to control it. And you're going to have to learn eventually to stop it. Just stop it. I cannot tell you the amount of organizations and business deals that have been ruined and trust and respect lost by too many drinks. Downlines, companies, marriages, relationships, especially at weekends like this, for leaders who just want to let loose and have a few. I've never understood that reason because you can basically wreck everything you built by just ingesting too much stuff in your body that turns you from leader to a five-year-old in a matter of an hour. I just wouldn't risk it. And you know what? Someone asked me, they said, oh, you and Sarah don't drink? We don't. Nope. You guys aren't fun. Probably not, we're boring. It doesn't offend me. And I don't get offended when you consume alcohol around me or have a cigarette. I actually don't. But I have realized that most people, they really can't be offended that I don't drink alcohol. Or Sarah, or you. Now, if this is making you feel bad, it's not meant to make you feel bad. But I am saying, if you want to go to a new level in life and lead at a greater capacity, something has to be given and something has to be invested for you to profit. Friends, everyone's not going to join Q. So some of you need to understand that you got to have friends away from Q or you're going to just go crazy. It can't be about Q all the time. It can't. Extended family and friends need your time and service. You can't just put everything all the time into people in this room and people in your Q business who are not in this room. You got to spend time, money, and service in your communities, in your church, and in your schools. Friendships are huge. Relationships are huge. In fact, in our faith, some of you are at the VP of Sales, you'll learn that in one unique thing about our faith is we believe relationships are eternal. And one thing you're going to learn also is relationships over time, you never know what door is going to be unlocked by a key relationship that was never about business for years or decades. You may need something for a future deal, a future endeavor, or a life-threatening situation, and that could come from someone who you were just friends with. It was nothing ever about the situation at hand.
What's causing you to not build relationships? Are you too focused on Q to where you just see people as a number? Are you just so focused that you gotta get that product in their hands? You gotta talk to them, you gotta peek them? Like, have you ever gone to, we were in San Diego for a family vacation, and our daughter Sam, she was leading the seagulls up to our towels, like breaking off crumbs and bringing them up to our towel, which really didn't make me really happy. You guys see like Hansel and Gretel, right? Like just dropping it off. And then our daughter Kaya was like, grabs it and starts chasing the birds. Some of you, it's like you're in the park, and instead of dropping the bread out for the ducks, and you're out there grabbing the whole loaf of bread, chasing the ducks around, expecting to know what you have in your hand. And I watch you do this. And you do it in all your relationships. Because that's all you want to do. You want this so bad. And some of the things you want so bad, you're just not ready for yet. I actually believe that some of you won't be on this stage until you take care of your relationship that you keep abusing. I truly believe it. I believe you're not going to be blessed to have what some of these people have until you just swallow your pride, you invest it, call up your parents and say, let's get in the same room. Let's hash this out. I don't want to go another Christmas or Thanksgiving without seeing my family. Hey, I'm sorry that all I talk about is Q. Let's go to lunch. I don't want to talk about business. What do you have to invest or give up? Maybe giving up this just a little bit to become a better friend for people who don't even give a crap about Q. And they're still people. They still have hearts, they still have goals and desires, and they still need to be loved. Q is not the barometer if someone's cool or not. Just because you're in Q doesn't even make you cool. Let's be real. There's people in Q that some of you don't even want to be around. Didn't make them any cooler. Maybe think about that for a second. There are friends, there is family, and then there are friends that become family. Some of you have those people in your life, and they're amazing. What do you need to change about yourself to become more likable? If anyone could change anything about you, not what you would change about you, if everyone could change something about you, what would it be? Andy Andrews, one of my favorite questions. And the last one, finance. Oh man, here they go again. What habits do you have to finally give up in order to actually have bigger gain on the backside? You learned about need versus want. Is your lack of planning causing emergencies in your life and your business and your team? Think about it. If you've been in Q a year, why don't we do a little self-pause reflection? Been in Q a year, 2 years, 6 months, 8 months. How much money have you made? How have your finances gained, gone down, grown? What's happened? You know the story. Has it gotten worse in the same situation that you were? What do you got to give up? Oh, I deserve this, Jake. My family's paid a price. I've been traveling so much. They deserve, I deserve, me, I deserve to go buy this, to go on this trip, to take them, because man, if I don't do this, then they're not going to like Q. And they're not going to let me go on the road and do these things anymore because they have to be able to get something for the price that we're paying. No, what they need to understand is you're changing as a person and not making the same mistakes. And we don't deserve anything. And they need to understand that previous decisions were made that put you in a situation to where those things need to be fixed before the trips can happen. Sorry. son, daughter, we made some bad choices as parents. And we did some shit that we should never have done. We bought some things we should have never have purchased. We didn't need any of those things. It didn't make us cooler. No one was recruited because we wore a better suit, wore a nicer watch or better shoes, or drove a fancier car. All it did was just put pressure on your mom and dad and put pressure on you. This time around, we're actually going to live beyond or below our means. And we're going to start saving. And if anyone doesn't want to join our team because they don't have the cool stuff, we don't want them in our team. Our culture in Q Sciences is, you're going to learn that in business it goes like this. Some people didn't do this in the summer and they pulled the ripcord. And then now we're on another tear. And it's funny because they thought that our revenue would dip. And no. Business goes like this. We're going to grow like crazy from now until probably March. It'll steady out when we identify the leaders who can step up. When those leaders are trained, then we'll take off again. In your business, it's the exact same thing. So you have to understand, you're never going to have a ton of success consistently for years straight. That's actually bunk. That's BS. Whoever told you in MLM you should grow every single month, they've lied to you. It's not possible. Because teams go, teams stay. People get in fights with their spouse, divorces happen, groups fall apart. Companies make mistakes, we've made mistakes. Mark and I have made mistakes. It's going to happen. It's part of the relationship. But you've got to be prepared financially. You have to be prepared for this, because when you're not, at the end of the day, when you don't sacrifice something to have a greater intelligence of how you view money, when you go back down again, the shame, guilt, and remorse, and that deserve word comes out thicker than ever. If you think it's hard to build the first time and not prepare, try to build it again to back where you were and be short on funds. It's 5 times as hard. Trust us, we did it as a couple. We were not smart in the beginning with our finances and made stupid mistakes. And it took us 6-7 years to dig out to where we could actually never have those icky conversations about finances. We have healthy talks about money now. And it's not like I don't want to talk about it and causing a fight. It's amazing. What do you want to invest?
I'll do it. Spell it, Spencer.
You can start it whenever you want.
Yeah, baby.
Before we have Mr. Mark Wilson close this out, and you can go to my last slide, please. There it is. You can put it up there. We have the prototype ready to let you guys try. Please listen to what I'm about to say. Please listen. This is amazing, obviously meter dosing, pretty simple. There's instructions on how it works. One's right at the tongue, the other one you can inhale. It's not vaping, there's no heater coil, you're not cooking anything, there's no safety issues. It's absolutely healthy. We don't have all the numbers yet. And we won't have all the numbers yet, probably till the first of the year when the full aerial line launches at Salt Lake City. Yeah. But what we are going to allow you to do is tell us what you think about it. There are only 1,500 of these kits. Literally 1,500. Once they're gone, they're gone. Once they're gone, they're gone. Now here's what you need to understand. You're gonna walk out there if you want to do this. You're gonna get the inhaler portion today. However, this little guy did not make it in the mail. This little guy is going to be sent to you next week directly from us. Don't worry, we'll ship it to you. So that price is all in. So you'll get the inhaler today, and next week, sometime throughout the week on Monday's Live, we'll tell you when these little guys start to ship. Okay? This is making sense?
Yes.
Now it's pretty simple. There are 200 doses of hemp and other stuff in both of these. It's really simple. You just grab it first, you shake it, you mix it up, or else all your flavoring is going to go to the top of the canister. This is as big as it is. The cap is as big as the canister. Note to Kevin, smaller cap. Pretty small. You just put it in your mouth and it's metered. You can't spray too, it's already magnesium, okay? Done. Tastes like chai. Those of you who like chai, tastes like chai. This one is the inhaler, pretty simple. Same thing, you're gonna get this, it's gonna come in two parts. You put it in there, and what I would do, so you don't waste a spray, shake it up before you engage it, just exhale and...
Yeah.
So amazing.
Pass it around, he says. No wonder why your home meetings are so great. All right? So again, the drop-down menu, you can order up to 5. You can go back and keep ordering as many as you want. There is no stoppage. It's on all the websites. It will not be on the website until Mr. Mark Wilson is going. He has 20 minutes, 25 minutes to his speech. We will not allow them to press go until the last words come out of his mouth with the video. Deal? Deal. Mm-hmm. One today, one next week. We'll ship it to you. Please welcome my partner,